Hey guys! For this speed paint, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I decided to make this painting. I've never really talked about that in one of these videos before, so I guess we'll see how it goes. So this year in July, I went to visit my family. So I live in Japan, but I'm from the US, and my parents and family still live there. Because of COVID, I wasn't able to see them for more than a year, and this year in the summer I finally had a chance to go, so I decided to take it, even though it's very difficult for international travel, especially in and out of Japan right now. I went and I had a really good time, but it was also a very chaotic trip. You have to get a negative COVID test before leaving Japan, and you have to get another COVID test before leaving the US to come back. I actually made a mistake with this. I got my negative COVID test in the US, but Japan is very strict about the type of test that they will accept. So I did the wrong one by accident and had to do another one at the airport before leaving. The airplane itself was very empty both ways. I think the plane to America had about 10 people in it, and the plane back had maybe 20 people or less. You know, the nice thing about it was that you get to lay down on the seats and kind of sleep, which normally you would never get to do, so that was pretty cool. However, once arriving at the airport in Japan, the whole airport is roped off into these different stations where you're sort of guided into areas where you have to sit and first of all do another corona test that has to be negative, and people will basically go over your paperwork many times. You have to download certain apps on your phone that can confirm your location at any given time. They take your phone and sort of mess around in the settings a little bit, and you have to leave it like that for 2 weeks after arriving in the country. I was also a little bit unlucky because the place I was staying in the US, Florida, happens to have a lot of the Delta strain of COVID, so I also had to stay in a government-designated hotel for 3 days immediately after arriving in Japan, where you're not allowed to go out of the room and somebody brings you food 3 times a day. And then after leaving the hotel, I came back to my apartment and spent the remainder of my 2-week quarantine here. But while I was in that hotel, I kept thinking about what a strange experience this was and what a strange time it is to be doing something like international travel. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel that it was necessary to visit my family. I actually have really bad motion sickness and have always had a hard time on the very long international flight between the US and Japan. I get very nauseous and very sick, and it's just an uncomfortable experience for me in the first place. So I already associated these long flights with sickness, but now with the coronavirus situation, there is an even stronger connection in my head between airplanes and sickness and disease. It's really weird, but I decided that I wanted to do a drawing about it while I was in the hotel. And then when I got home, I decided to make it into a full painting. I hope that you guys liked hearing the backstory behind this illustration, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the speed paint. Thank you for watching.